So you've just run a piece of analysis, you're really excited because you found something amazing, you've presented it to the business, and the business is like, wow, this is really good, go off and finish it off, and then we can start doing it. For example, you might find that if you promote something, or if you offer a discount somewhere, or if you do something, then people are more likely to buy a product, or they're more profitable, and everybody's really excited about the analysis that you've done. Then you go back to your desk and you've realized that you've missed something. You've either not cleaned the data, and so you've had duplicate data which has amplified a finding that's not real, or you found that you've not applied a filter, or you've not taken the right date range, or you've not accounted for something. And when you do that, you find that the findings that you had no longer exist, or it's different, or worse, it's gone the opposite direction. So what do you do if you come across that situation? In this video, I'm going to talk about damage control and how you should approach this with the business, okay? It's never pleasant, but it does happen. So how do you damage control when you've presented something and then you realize you've analyzed it incorrectly because you've not accounted for something, or you've done something wrong, or you've missed something out, and the results aren't what you said they were, or they, like I said, worst case scenario, they're the opposite of what you said. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you inform whoever needs to be informed immediately. The reason for that is that you don't want them to plan something or continue a line of activity based on your existing, or be based on your initial findings, okay? So you need to say to them, look, something's happened, I forgot to do this, and it's showing different results, okay? People will understand that you make mistakes, and they may not be happy about it, but they will understand that everybody makes mistakes. So the first thing to do is, as soon as you've discovered it, don't bury your head in the sand, okay? Of course, double check to make sure that you have really made a mistake and you've not just replicated the findings differently and ended up with a different answer, but you've done exactly the same, and you know, it is a mistake, and therefore you need to tell everyone that the initial findings aren't correct. So like I said, the first thing to do is find the relevant people and tell them, okay? Now, when you tell them, okay, it's not all bad news, because what could happen is that there may be an angle to the analysis that could help you get back to the original findings. And what I mean by this is that you might say, look, if we focus on these groups of customers, we could have improved profitability by X amount. So the business wants to send loads of marketing. Now you find that's not true, but is there another group of customers, or is there a subset of that group of customers that would be profitable? So for example, you might say, look, everybody we've acquired through a certain channel is, originally was very profitable. You then run the analysis again, and you realize that they're not profitable, they're the same as everyone else, or in fact, they cost you. It won't be the case that everybody in that group will be unprofitable. There'll be some that will be profitable. So therefore, maybe you can say, maybe I can identify a subset of them to be profitable, okay? So what you're doing is giving them options. So you're going to the business saying, look, I've made a mistake, or to the relevant people in the business, I've made a mistake. I thought, when I ran the initial analysis, it came up with that. I've just checked my data again, and I rerun the analysis, and it's not actually showing what it's showing. But maybe there's a group of people who are profitable, and I can find them. It might not be as big as before, but at least there will be something that the team can do, that the marketing team can do, the product sales team, whoever it is, they can do something. So that means at least the activity that they wanted to do can pursue, just be on a smaller scale. The other thing that you may find is that, there is no way of rescuing this. So you've just got to come clean and say, look, it's not what we thought it was. We're going to have to just stop there. The analysis is not supporting the finding. And you know what? Again, the business will be disappointed, but they will understand that people make mistakes, okay? But at least you've stopped it early. What you don't want to do is, again, like I said, bury your head in the sand, so that people carry on with their activities not aware of what you found. So like I said, tell the relevant people very early, as soon as you know. Now, again, make sure you double check, because if you've made a mistake once, you may make a mistake twice. So double check before you let them know, but do let them know. The next thing is then to sit down with your manager, or the person your stakeholder who you were meant to deliver this to, and tell them why you made the mistake, okay? What you don't want them to believe is that you were careless, okay? Because you wouldn't have been careless in running the analysis, it's just that something would have slipped. So you might have said, look, when I was analyzing the data, I thought I'd put the date range between this and this, but actually I didn't realize, but I hadn't put the end date or the beginning date or something like that, where I hadn't put the right dates, and I analyzed everything, and it was just some mistake in the code, or I didn't realize, but I was meant to filter on these types of customers, and I filtered on another filter, and it captured the wrong group of customers, or captured the group of customers plus others, and that's why my analysis has changed slightly. So sit down with your manager or the stakeholder and explain to them why the mistake happened. What that will reassure them is that you are now aware of why the mistake happened, okay? Because the last thing you want to do is tell them that there was a mistake but you don't know why it happened, okay? If you can explain to them why the mistake happened, then they would be reassured that you won't repeat that mistake again, and hopefully then you won't lose the trust, because that's one of the core problems with being a data analyst or a data scientist, is that if you make a mistake, people might lose trust in you. So you've got to get that trust back, and that's why telling people early and then explaining to your stakeholder or your manager why the mistake happened, and now that you're aware of it, it won't happen again, will reassure them. Next thing to do is take them on a journey from what you initially found to what eventually you did find, and that may mean convening another meeting to sort of wash up, to sort of explain why the project didn't go as it should have done. So you might say, look, I analyzed the data but I forgot to do this, or this slipped, or the code where I was meant to put this year I accidentally put the other year and I hadn't checked, or whatever it is, okay, or I didn't clean the data here, or I didn't filter here. Whatever the issue was, you explain it and then say, because of that it went from this finding to that finding, but now I know that this problem occurs, I'll make sure it doesn't happen again, but I'm really sorry that I presented to you incorrect finding, but I know why it was incorrect, and now in the future I'll be aware of it, and I will be able to account for these issues that have been in the data. Once you've done the wash up of that, what you want to do is get back into producing analysis. Don't let this knock your confidence, because one of the things that you might do is that you might feel, oh my god, no one's going to trust me, I've done a bad job, I'm going to get sacked, okay? Don't go into that mindset, because if you go into that mindset, what will happen is that you will start exhibiting behaviors that shows that you're uncertain, you're too cautious, and you're not who you used to be, the confident person who could present data to the business in a compelling way, okay? So and if you do start being cautious and not confident, and people can't trust you, then yes, you will lose your job, okay? Because they'll feel that you're not doing the job well enough. So bounce back, okay? Bounce back, carry on with the analysis. Again, now that you're aware of the problems, that you may have been too confident and missed them first time round, now in further analysis, you're always going to double check. And I always tell my analysts that you need to pay attention to detail. If you can't pay attention to detail, then you're going to miss, if you miss the small things, you'll miss the big things, okay? And so therefore, for the next a while, maybe a month even, try to make sure that all your analysis is very accurate, and that you are very confident in what you're presenting, that you've checked the detail, and you've presented back analysis that won't change because you've made a mistake. So then the final thing to damage control is that don't become defensive, okay? So when people bring up, oh, but you made a mistake before, is it possible that you made a mistake now, okay? Don't get defensive. Explain to them, look, that was a mistake, I overlooked this, but now I'm aware of that, I'm aware of these things, I haven't done it again, and I've double checked this time, okay? And therefore, hopefully what will happen is that by not being defensive, by being open and transparent and welcoming actually the feedback, you show to the business that you're willing to learn and grow, and hopefully that will make you a better data analyst or data scientist. If you do end up presenting something that's wrong or inaccurate, hopefully this video will help you understand how you can limit the damage that's done. Well, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and share the video.